To my fabulous hometown, North Carolina. I hope you guys enjoy the Southern hospitality here, and I hope you make another trip back. I hear that this is the first time that the BBBS National Conference has made its way to Charlotte, maybe even to North Carolina at all. So please come back. We love it here, and I'm just really proud to call it my hometown. I was really excited when I was asked to join the board of directors for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Carolinas. As Donna mentioned, I have been a little busy this month. I love being able to represent North Carolina at the Miss USA competition. And from the start of my reign as Miss USA, I've been on several national television programs. I've hosted 2 major TV projects, taken part in a few photo shoots, and found just like a few hours to sleep here and there. But I'm certainly not complaining, and I don't want this fantastic dream to end. All that said, one of the most enjoyable parts of my time thus far is being able to be in front of people who make a difference and come together for a common cause. My reign is just getting started, and I've been asked to MC dozens of events and speak at a variety of functions. But I love meeting people, wonderful people, who also inspire me. I enjoy lending a helping hand to organizations like Big Brothers Big Sisters that empower children in our communities. I also love giving back to Dress for Success, and was recently named a National Impact Ambassador for a great organization that empowers women in our communities. Now, beyond that, as Donna said, wearing a crown and sash wasn't always a daily part of my wardrobe. I was also a civil litigation attorney before I became Miss USA. And one of my passions was my pro bono work, where I worked to help reduce the sentences of people who were sentenced unjustly. No. So you can imagine that when I heard that you devoted time during this conference to focus on returning citizens, I was excited and even more proud to know that we'll be discussing this very important societal issue. Attending law school taught me about the power you wield as an attorney. People look to you for advice. They trust you with their secrets. They put their fate, their livelihood, and sometimes their lives in your hands. I became an attorney because I always loved to speak for people, and people trusted me to do that. And I had bright ideas about doing good for others. So you can imagine my surprise and dismay when I learned that our justice system doesn't always guarantee the fairness and good that I dreamt of. In fact, studies show that if you're a minority in this country or you are impoverished, you are more likely to be convicted of a crime and imprisoned than others. Even though it is long past due to take a hard look at our justice system and reform it and figure out how it really affects people, change for the better can sometimes just be a helping hand. A hand for Alfred. Alfred is a pro bono client who Brittany Barnett from the Buried Alive Project and I work with. Alfred was convicted and given a mandatory life sentence without parole for a low-level federal drug crime. Today, he has spent 18 years in prison under the dark cloud of dying there. While in prison, Alfred made tremendous strides at rehabilitation, completed hundreds of hours of vocational training, and maintained a spotless disciplinary record. Thanks to recently enacted federal legislation called the First Step Act, Alfred will be released from prison by the end of this month, relief from the unjust, excessive sentence he received nearly 2 decades ago. Unfortunately, that relief did not come soon enough for Alfred to make it home in time to see his daughter graduate from high school in Winston-Salem a couple of weeks ago. Your helping hand won't give Alfred that stolen moment back. But you can help Alfred to get a job. You can build a community around Alfred that removes employment and housing reentry obstacles, a community that respects him and gives him a real chance of redemption and the opportunity to move past his mistakes and prove he can be a benefit to society. We need to shatter the stigma and help him to build his confidence, not break him down and brand him with the scarlet letter when it is our country's justice system that would have had him die in prison while others could afford to walk free. All of this is essential because Alfred's future affects the future of people like his daughter, who I'm sure would have benefited from having a supportive and loving father in her life while she grew up, or maybe even just at her high school graduation. Now that my next journey on this pageant trail is preparing for the 2019 Miss Universe competition later this year, I do look forward to continuing to use my voice to raise awareness of all the good work that each of you do, the helping hands you extend to those who need it. I'm proud to be a part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters community, and I'm glad to be looking in the faces of people who together make positive change. So thank you for all that you do in improving the lives of children in our community. Thanks.
Cheslie Kryst was born April 28, 1991. She was an American television presenter, model, and beauty pageant. She was a title holder who was crowned Miss USA in 2019. Cheslie Kryst jumped to her death from a New York City high-rise apartment building, and she was a former Miss USA. The 2019 pageant winner had a 9th-floor apartment in Manhattan, 6-story building, and was found dead in the street below. She studied at the University of South Carolina and Wake Forest University. She was 5 feet and 16 inches. She had black hair and brown eyes. Kryst died yesterday in New York City after falling from her 60-story high-rise apartment building in Midtown Manhattan. She reportedly left a suicide note. Leaving her belongings to her mother. May her soul rest in peace. Your legacy will still live on.